ஓகே, குட் மார்னிங் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ். இன்றைக்கி நம்ம பார்க்க வேண்டியது லாஸ்ட் கிளாஸ்னுடைய கண்டினியூஷன். லாஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் we studied something about the type of ecosystem. Here there is a ecosystem, natural ecosystem is there, artificial ecosystem, man-made ecosystem, and terrestrial ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem, freshwater ecosystem, marine water ecosystem, the lotic and lentic ecosystem also there. Lotic means nothing but the running water bodies, example river and spring and stream. The lentic standing water bodies lenting. Here next we pass on to the structure of pond ecosystem. Here in a pond there is number of microorganisms and also there is some living plants and some animals also present in a pond system. In which type of organisms it will present, so you can see one by one. It's a classical example for natural aquatic freshwater lentic type of ecosystem. There is lentic, not lotic. It helps us to understand the structure and function of an ecosystem. When rainwater gathers in a shallow area gradually over a period of time, different kinds of organisms, microbes, plants, animals become part of this ecosystem. This pond ecosystem is a self-sustaining and self-regulatory freshwater ecosystem which shows a complex interaction between the abiotic and biotic components in it. Here there is abiotic components, that is without not living organisms. A pond ecosystem consists of a dissolved inorganic carbon dioxide, oxygen, calcium, nitrogen and phosphorus and organic substances, amino acids and humic acid formed from the dead organic matter. The function of pond ecosystem is regulated by few factors like the amount of light, temperature, pH value of water and other climatic conditions. Biotic components, here they constitute the producers, variety of consumers and decomposers, microorganisms also. Producers, a variety of phytoplanktons like Acylatoria, Anabina, Chlamydomonas, Pandorina, Eudoria, Volvox, Diatoms, Filamentous, algae such as Elotricus, Spirogyra, Cladophora and Eudogonium. Floating plants Azolla, Salvia, Pistia, Wolfia and Eichhornia also present. Submerged plants Potamogeton and Phacrometis, rooted plant products, plants Nymphia and Nilambo. Macrophytes like Typha and Euphemia constitute the major producer of the pond ecosystem. Here what are the consumers are present. The animals represents the consumers of the pond ecosystem which include zooplanktons like Paramecium and Taphina. Primary consumers, benthos, bottom living animals like mollusks and annelids. Secondary consumers like water beetles and frogs, and tertiary consumers carnivores like duck, granny and some top carnivores which include large fish, hawk and man, etc. The next we pass on to decomposers. They are also called as microorganisms. They help to recycle the nutrients in the ecosystem. They are present in mud, water and bottom of the ponds, example bacteria and fungus. Decomposers perform the process of decomposition in order to enrich the nutrients in the pond ecosystem. A limnology, it is a study of biological, chemical, physical and geological components of inland freshwater aquatic ecosystems also there. Stratification of pond ecosystem, there is a littoral zone and a limnotic zone and a profundal zone and last one there is a benthic zone also there. Diagrammatic representation of stratification of pond ecosystem. Here ecosystem services, benefits, what are the benefits it will present in an ecosystem. Here ecosystem services are defined as the benefits that people derive from nature. Robert Kandasa et al. 1927 started ecosystem services are the benefits provided to human through the transformation of resources or environmental assets including land, water, vegetation and atmosphere into flow of essential goods and services. Okay, the variety of benefits obtained from the ecosystems are generally categorized into following 4 steps. Ecosystem services, there is provisioning services, cultural services, supporting services, regulating services. From this ecosystem it will serve for that one. Food, fiber and fuel, generic resources, biochemical, freshwater medicines. Cultural services, spiritual and religious values. Knowledge system, education and inspiration, recreation and aesthetic values. Ecotourism, supporting services, primary production, provision of habitat, nutrient recycling, soil formation and retention, protection of atmospheric oxygen, water cycling, regulating services, invasion, resistance, herbivory pollination, seed disposal, climatic regulation, pest regulation, disease regulation, erosion regulation, water purification, natural hazard protection. These are the services mostly related to ecosystems. Next we pass on to, there is another one. Generally the following human activities disturb or re-engineer an ecosystem every day: habitat destruction, deforestation and overgrazing, erosion of soils, introduction of non-native species, over-harvesting of plant material, pollution of land, water and air, run of pesticides, fertilizers and animal waste. The next we pass on to ecosystem management. How it will manage in an ecosystem. The process that integrates ecological, socio-economical and institutional factors into the comprehensive strategy in order to sustain and enhance the quality of the ecosystem to meet current and future needs. Ecosystem management emphasis on human role in judicious use of ecosystem and for sustained benefits through minimal human impacts on ecosystem. Environmental degradation and biodiversity loss will result in depletion of natural resources, ultimately affecting the existence of human. Then what are the strategy of ecosystem management? It is used to maintain the biodiversity of ecosystem. It helps in indicating the damaged ecosystem. Some species indicate the health of the ecosystem. Such species are called as flagship species. It is used to recognize the inevitability of ecosystem change and plan accordingly. One of the tools used for achieving sustainability of ecosystem through sustainable development program for projects. It is also helpful in identifying ecosystems which are in need of rehabilitation. Involves collaborative management with the government agency, local population, communities and NGOs. Used to build the capacity of local institutions and community groups to assume responsibility for long-term implementation of ecosystem management activities even after the completion of the project. Then plant succession. Here in a plant succession, here there is such successive replacement of one type of plant community by other of the same area place is known as plant succession. What do you mean by plant succession? Here there is successive replacement of one type of plant community by the other of the same area place is known as plant succession. Two more questions. The first invaded plants in a barren area are called pioneers. On the other hand, the series of transitional developments of plant communities one after another in a given area are called serial communities. At the end of a final stage and a final plant community gets established, which are called as climax and climax community respectively. Okay, what are the characteristics of ecological succession? Systematic process which causes changes in specific structure of plant community. Is a resultant of changes of abiotic and biotic factors. Transfer of unstable community into the stable community. Gradual progression in species diversity, total biomass, niche specialization and humus content of soil takes place. Progresses from simple food chain to complex food web. It modifies the lower and simple life forms to the higher life forms. It creates interdependence of plants and animals. Next we pass on to what are the types of succession. What are the types of succession? Types of successions have been classified in a different way on the basis of different aspects. There are as follows. Primary succession. First one, primary one. In this one, the plant community in a barren area where no community existed before is called primary succession. The plants which colonies first in a barren area is called pioneer species or primary community or primary colonies. Generally, primary succession takes a very long time for a occurrence in any regions. It will take very long time. Example, microbes, lichens and mosses. Then secondary succession. The development of the plant community in an area where an already developed community has been destroyed by some natural disturbance, fire, flood, human activity is known as secondary succession. Generally, this succession takes less time than the time taken for primary succession. Okay, what are the difference between the primary succession and a secondary succession? Developing in an barren area, developing in disturbed area. Initial due to the biological or any other external factors. Starts due to external factors only. No soil while primary succession start. It starts where soil covers is already present. Pioneer species come from outside environment. Pioneer species develop from exciting environment. It takes more time to complete. It takes comparatively less time to complete. Okay, the next, allogenic succession. Allogenic succession occurs as a result of abiotic factors. The replacement of existing community is caused by the other external factors. Soil erosion, leaching, that's all. Example, in a forest ecosystem, soil erosion and leaching alter the nutrient value of the soil, leading to the change of vegetation in that area. Then characteristics of plant succession. A study of hydrosaur and lithosaur are discussed below. Plant succession, hydrosaur, mesosaur and xerosaur. Here there is a water, there is a land condition, and also there is a xeropin condition. Lithosaur, halosaur and the samiosaurs. Then hydrosaur. Hydrosaur is a freshwater ecosystem and also referred to as hydrosaur. Succession is a pond, begins with the colonization of the pioneers like phytoplankton and finally ends with the formation of climax community like forest. Phytoplankton stage, it is the first stage of succession consisting of the pioneer community like blue-green algae, diatoms and bacteria. The colonization of these organisms enrich the amount of organic matter and nutrients of pond due to their life activities and death. This favors the development of the next several stages. The submerged plant stage. Here there is a result of death and decomposition of planktons. Silt brought from land by rainwater lead to the loose and mud formation at the bottom of the pond. Hence, the rooted submerged hydrophytes begin to appear on the new substrata. Example, Chara, Utricularia, Vallisneria, and Hydrilla plants also there. Then submerged free floating stage. Here this stage, the depth of the pond will become almost 2 to 5 feet only. Rooted hydrophytic plants and with the floating large leaves plants colonizing the pond area. Rooted plants like Nilambo, Nymphaea and Trava. Some free floating species like Azolla, Lemna, Wolffia and Pistia are also present in the stage. The death and decomposition of these plants further the pond becomes more shallow. Reed swamp rage, it is also called it as amphibious stage. புல்வெளி எப்படி நம்ம சொல்லலாம், அது நானர் வழி ஸ்டேஜ் அப்படின்னு சொல்லக்கூடியது. During this stage, rooted floating plants are replaced by plants which can live successfully in aquatic as well as aerial environment. Example, Typha, Pochimitus, Sagittarium, Scarpus, etc. At the end of this stage, water level is very much reduced, making it unsuitable for the continuous growth of amphibious plants. Then Marsh meadow, புல்வெளி பிரதேசங்கள். When the pond becomes swallowed due to decreasing water level, species of Cyperaceae, Poaceae such as Cars, Juncus, Cypress, Yellowcas colonies are present. They form a mat-like vegetation with the help of their much branched root system also there. At the end of this stage, the soil becomes dry and the marshy vegetation disappears gradually and leads to shrub stage. Then shrub, புதச்செடிகள். As the disappearance of marshy vegetation continues, soil becomes dry. Hence, these areas are now invaded by terrestrial plants like shrub, salix and cornus, and trees, poplars and alnus. These plants absorb large quantity of water and make the habitat dry. Further accumulation of humus with the rich flora of microorganisms produce minerals in the soil. Then forest stage, காடு நிலைன்னு சொல்லலாம். It is the climax community of hydrosaur. A variety of trees invade the area and develop maybe one of the diverse type of vegetation. Example, temperate mixed forest, Almus, Acer curius, tropical rainforest, Atrocarpus, cinnamonian and tropical deciduous forest, bamboo and Ductonia. The seventh stage of hydrosaur succession, stage 1 is occupied by pioneer community, while the stage 7 is occupied by the climax community. The stage 2 to 6 are occupied by serial communities, that's all. Then last one, significance of plant succession. Succession is a dynamic process, hence an ecologist can access and study the serial stages of plant community found in a particular area only. Then ecological succession helps to understand the controlled growth of one or more species in a forest. Knowledge of succession, even dams can be protected by preventing siltation. Information about the techniques to be used during reforestation and afforestation. helps in the maintenance of pastures. Plant succession helps to maintain species diversity in an ecosystem. Patterns of diversity during succession are influenced by resource availability and disturbance by various factors. Okay, here there is a primary successions involve the colonization of habitat of an area divide of life. Secondary succession involves the re-establishment of plant community in a disturbed area or habitat. Forests and vegetation that we come across all over the world are the result of plant succession. Okay, thank you. Here your 7th lesson is over. Totally our botany portion is totally covered 1 to 10 lesson. Here in a 5th 20%, 4th lesson, 6th lesson, 7th lesson is over. So you just go through all those things. Any other doubt means you can ask anytime. Okay, thank you students. Next tomorrow onwards you can go for your zoology portion. Okay, thank you students.